Hello there, kia ora. I'm back, and I've almost got rid of this pesky cold and added a few extra props to the background to upset people who think, for some reason, I'm ashamed of my background. See if you can spot what they are. So I guess now's a really good time to see what it is that I've missed. Like the Prime Minister again trying to defend boot camps despite their epic failure rates. ACT trying to have references to Te Tiriti removed from education legislation. We lost a satellite. Kāinga Ora cut more builds while the Prime Minister claimed to have built 7,000 houses. That actually happened under Labour, which he was forced to admit to in the House. The Ministry of Justice came out saying citizens' arrest changes would be useless, and it was revealed that the person behind it had cost us, the country, hundreds of thousands of dollars to suggest ideas experts keep saying don't work. The Regulatory Standards Bill hearings happened with the vast majority of submitters opposing the bill. The second COVID inquiry started, and Voices for Freedom paid for planes to fly over Auckland to show that they have more dollars than cents when they got pulled up and chastised for their answers at the inquiry. The Nurses Union dismissed a pay offer, calling it a massive step backwards, which has led to strikes. A survey of public servants showed poor staffing was their biggest barrier to better performance after the government fired thousands of them to pay for landlord tax cuts. The Health New Zealand board was finally re-established. Orani Kaipara and Penny Hinare were named as the candidates for the upcoming Tamaki Makaurau by-election. Family boost payments were increased with a hope that more money might actually mean more people apply for a policy Nicola Willis said means that she can afford Ben & Jerry's at the movies with. Jack Karatai Barrett cycled from Whakatane to Wellington to support the retention of Māori wards in local government, but the Prime Minister refused to meet him. Experts told the government that apprenticeships and training overhaul plans would shortchange employers and not help increase numbers in the fields that need them. There's been a massive spike in meth use. The government planned to make those on job seeker benefits help with flood zone cleanups. The government decided that there would be no more buyouts for storm-hit homes after removing $1 billion from disaster relief funds to pay for those landlord tax cuts. The government announced the disestablishment of Te Pukenga with massive job losses, organisation closures and whole areas without training institutes going forward. There was the whole Ray Chung thing. The government decided that there should be no more open plan classrooms, a plan they carefully avoided admitting was actually a National Party policy to begin with. The government told councils to stop planning things because the RMA will be changed, that they need to stop doing pesky things like making communities livable, and didn't take an iota of responsibility for the changes they forced that caused a flurry of rates increases around the country. The Prime Minister told off David Seymour, not for the use of parliamentary services to target detractors of his RSP, but for overstepping Winston Peters in responding to a UN letter pointing out how much the government is screwing over Māori. After forcing billions out of Auckland Council's budget for infrastructure upgrades by cancelling the regional fuel tax and killing projects like light rail and a second harbour crossing, Luxon blamed Labour for problems Auckland seems to be having. The government that got rid of the ferry replacements, the first of which would be here by now if they had stayed the course to pay for tax cuts and landlord kickbacks, say councils lacked fiscal discipline for having facilities like a well-lit, accessible public bathroom. Benefit sanctions surged by 27%. New cost of living data showed increased costs of basic food items was a big driver to the cost of living, which all occurred under National, but somehow they still think is Labour's fault. The little spotted kiwi was found on the west coast of the South Island for the first time in 50 years, which Shane Jones probably got grumpy about. Peter Jackson said he wanted to bring back the moa. There was a measles outbreak. Thanks, anti-vaxxers. Health New Zealand backtracked on plans to reduce maternity beds in Wellington Hospital. Another prominent New Zealander got name suppression after a super secret arrest. The government acknowledged rising numbers of homeless are happening and that many said it's linked to housing policy by the current government. But not them. That's not what the current government is going to admit. And the 2025 New Zealand Ice Cream and Gelato Awards have kicked off this weekend, and I was once again not invited to judge. Look, there's always a lot going on, even when it seems like there isn't, and it's not always easy to keep tabs on it all. But it is really important that we try. Keeping informed is the best way we have to arm ourselves against disinformation and prepare ourselves for the onslaught of upcoming election campaigns, both local and general. But also remember that it's important to try and take time out. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, and we can get snowed under so easily. Finding that balance is really important for everybody. Almost as important as trying out new ice cream flavors.
Hey, thanks for checking out today's video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you get more updates as we go along. We deal with these guys for the rest of the year.